Welcome to your Optavia LifeBook audio channel. My name is Christy Baker, and I just want to say thank you for joining me today. We're going to be reading through element 20 in our LifeBooks. And before we get started, if you could take just a quick second and push that subscribe button, that way you know when the next video is coming out. I would appreciate that. And today's reading starts on page 413. Let's go ahead and dive in. Your immune system, both a friend and a foe. It's your own personal 24/7 on-call emergency service, and it has an incredible ability to speak out. To seek out intruders such as bacteria, viruses, and parasites. In fact, it's the most complex system in your body. It not only defends us, but it remembers every battle it's ever fought so that it can recognize repeat threats and avoid wasting time on the harmless ones. Its purpose is to restore balance to an unbalanced body. And once its job is done, it should settle down to its normal, vigilant state to await the next crisis. Unfortunately, that's not how it always happens. As medical science begins to discover, this benevolent protector has a darker side that can all too easily turn on its master, especially if we make the habits of disease our way of life. In this element, I'm going to ask that you read in Dr. A's Habits of Health 2.14, and that will give you further details of what we're going to be discussing today. It will be essential when answering the questions that I'm going to ask in this next phase and reflecting on how you approach your surroundings in terms of keeping your immune system from going dark. So if you want to take a moment, pause this, and then come back and answer these questions, that would be very helpful. All right, here's the questions. Number 1, why is your immune system so important to your optimal health? Number 2, when does your immune system become a threat? And number 3, can you name 3 factors that are a main cause of inflammation? Number 4, what factors in your internal environment do you struggle with? Number 6, what factors in your external environment are you struggling with? And lastly, what kind of inflammatory foods do you need to remove from your diet? On the next page, on page 216, there is a fantastic diagram. I'm just going to briefly show it to you. And I'd love for you to go back and look at that on your own. And you can find more details in 2.4 in Dr. A's Habits of Health. But this cycle that it's referring to is all the types of things that are increasing inflammation in our bodies. For example, high exposure to chemicals and toxins, stresses, allergens. Those are in our external environment. That leads to inflammation. And then also we have an internal environment, which could be chronic infections, sinus infections and viruses, visceral fat, lack of sleep, overuse of antibiotics, lack of motion, a sedentary lifestyle. You kind of get the idea. And then those turn into an oxidative stress. And when we feed our bodies food that causes inflammation, things like refined sugars, grains, high fructose corn syrup, omega-6 fats, saturated fats, trans fats, and overcooked and charged foods, all of these factors lead to increased inflammation in our bodies. And if you look at 2.14, sorry about that, you can take a test in there to measure your current level of inflammation, and then also take just a minute or two and reflect on what you've learned about yourself personally and your score on your current level of inflammation. that is just our short, brief little introduction to this chapter today. I hope you'll take the time to go back to the other book and take that quiz. I think it'll be very helpful. Please join me again on our next video where we learn more about the specific things in each of those categories and what we can do to reduce them. All right, thank you.